In 410 A.D., St. Jerome, one of the most learned men in the world, heard the news in his monastery in Bethlehem and wrote, "The city which had taken the whole world was itself taken." He could not write anything further that day. The Visigoths had sacked Rome. It was the first time the city had been taken by an enemy in 800 years. And it was not the end, not yet. But everyone who lived through it understood that something irreversible had happened. The Roman Empire, at its peak, home to 60 million people, stretching from Scotland to Mesopotamia, from the Rhine to the Sahara, did not collapse overnight. It took 300 years to die, and historians are still arguing about why. Here are the main theories. The first is military. Rome's army, once the most disciplined fighting force in the ancient world, became increasingly dependent on Germanic mercenaries with no particular loyalty to Rome itself. When the pressure came from outside, the men paid to hold the line were the same people pushing against it. The second is economic. The empire had overextended. Maintaining the borders, the legions, the bureaucracy, the grain supply for 1 million people in the city of Rome alone, it cost more than the empire could generate. Taxes rose. The middle class collapsed. The currency was debased so many times it became nearly worthless. The third is political. In the 200 years before the final collapse, Rome had over 50 emperors. Most were assassinated. The office had become a death sentence, the government a civil war in permanent session. The fourth is migration. The Huns, a nomadic people from Central Asia, were pushing westward with extraordinary violence, displacing Germanic tribes who in turn flooded into Roman territory. The Visigoths, the Vandals, the Ostrogoths, these were not simply invaders. They were refugees from something worse. Crossing borders Rome no longer had the strength to hold. The fifth, more contested, is fragmentation. When Constantine moved the capital to Constantinople in 330 A.D., the empire divided its focus. The eastern half survived for another 1,000 years as the Byzantine Empire. The western half did not. Most historians today say it was all of these things together. No single cause. A system under pressure from every direction simultaneously, for centuries, until it could no longer hold. The Western Empire officially ended in 476 A.D., when the last emperor, a teenager named Romulus Augustulus, named after the city's founder and its first emperor, was deposed by a Germanic chieftain who didn't even bother to take the title. He just sent the imperial regalia to Constantinople. And that was that. This was Chronicles. Like and subscribe for history every day. youtube.com/@chronicles. History every day.